Going on, everybody? It's Danny made it back again with another playoff preview. We got a different guest this time. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, and what you do.
So my name is Braylon Werner. I'm from Battle Creek, Nebraska, and high school student right now, working on getting a job and just living life, man.
All right, that's. Do you play football?
I'm not a football player, no sir.
Okay. All right. Well, we're just gonna jump right into these playoff previews and predictions. So we're gonna start off with number one Norfolk Catholic versus number 16 Ord. Uh, we're gonna start with you right here.
Uh,
What do you
so
got?
I I think this is a no-brainer here. I think Catholic wins big.
Yeah, Catholic is the number one seed for a reason. Yeah, I think Catholic wins big. I think that's definitely a possibility. They're going against number 16 Ord. Uh, Norfolk Catholic has a notoriously good coach, and he's usually handled things pretty well. Norfolk Catholic has also had a great stack of wins. They've beat Oakland Craig, they've beat Battle Creek, they beat Cedar Catholic, they've beat Boone Central. So those are pretty good teams that they've beaten, and I think that they have a good tandem on offense as well. Their quarterback, and they have Max Hammond, who's I think is one of the most dynamic and diverse running backs in the state. He can come outside the backfield and catch these passes, and he can also run. So yeah, I think I agree with you there. I think Catholic's going to win, and I think they're going to advance to the next round. All right, the next one we have number two Bishop Newman taking on Lincoln Lutheran. I'll start off on this one. Bishop has has the closest game against Norfolk Catholic, which I'm super high on. I'm also really high on Bishop Newman as well. They're on a 8 game win streak since that Norfolk Catholic game, which was the first week of the year. And Connor Booth getting stopped. Spoiler, probably not. He averages 268 yards per game. So yeah, I don't think Lincoln Lutheran has played a lot of C1. Uh, no, they have played a lot of C1 competition, so it's not the end of the world for them. The 3-6 record is a little bit deceiving. I think they are a tough, gritty team. What do you think of this game?
I agree with you. I think Bishop Newman will honestly run away with this game. Connor Booth being a D1 commit and having the year he's having, I think just Connor Booth all day. So
Yeah, and he's a stud for sure. And now we're gonna move to number three, Battle Creek versus Aquinas Catholic. Battle Creek 7-2, Aquinas Catholic is 6-3. I'm gonna let the Battle Creek guy start on this one. What do you think this game's all about?
all right, man. As we know, Battle Creek is a straight run the football team. Battle Creek has played Aquinas Catholic once this year already. The score doesn't represent how well they actually played in this game, in my opinion. They had a really good game against Aquinas Catholic, just dominated that line of scrimmage. They just they basically just dominated Aquinas Catholic. And Aquinas, they are not a bad team by any means. They're 6-3 record. I am impressed by how well they have finished off the season. And I think they're coming into this playoff game hot and they're ready to go. But at the end of the day, I think Battle Creek dominates that line of scrimmage again. And I think Jackson Metler and their running backs have huge games on the ground. And I think we win this game by a lot more than just 14 points.
Yeah, when you look at games, you see it's hard to beat a team twice, and but there's an exception to that rule when you dominate on the line of scrimmage. And as you said, that's exactly what they did. And I actually have some notes about the line of scrimmage. I think that Battle Creek is one of the best fronts in football in Nebraska, not just C2. I think that their line is a pretty solid line and can stack up against some of those C1 teams and maybe even a couple of Class B teams. I think those guys, you got Connor Heiderman on the line. You got Dawson Amick, who is just a force, and so I think those two guys alone is just a dominant presence on defense, and I think it's just a hard team to stop. And but on Aquinas' side, that 6-3 record is pretty solid. They have played some of the toughest opposition in football as well. So, and I've also been pleasantly surprised on this Aquinas team. But yeah, it's not an easy game at all. But I think that Battle Creek can definitely win this game, and that's exactly who I picked to win this game.
I agree. I agree.
All right, we're gonna move on to the four seed versus the Kearney Catholic Stars. The fourth seed is Valentine. They're 7-2, and Kearney Catholic is also 7-2. Just last week, these two teams had played. Valentine won that game 20-14. Valentine had a lot of success offensively. And they had two turnovers, which I think was the difference of this game being as close as it was. They have some good players on offense. They have Trent, their quarter or Trace, my mistake. Their quarterback, he leads in reception or he leads in rush yards, my mistake again. Trenton Bebout has 9 touchdowns total for them. I think, yeah, this team is a scrappy team, and I like Valentine a lot. What do you have on this one?
Um, to be honest, I kind of thinking differently. I'm thinking Kearney Catholic coming in with a chip on their shoulder, losing the first time. Um, I know a couple of kids from there. I know they got a scrappy team. The 7-2 record is a little deceiving because I think their two losses were kind of iffy. So personally, I have Kearney Catholic here, but I agree with what you're saying on Valentine.
Yeah, they're definitely both some scrappy teams out there, and I'm looking forward to checking the score in on this whenever that game gets over.
I agree.
Next game, another rematch from just a week ago, just like the Valentine Kearney Catholic one. Number 5 Wood River 8-1 taking on Doniphan Trumbull 7-2. Wood River just won last week 33-16, and the biggest story of this game was Bo Rorich, he had 7.7 yards per carry on 32 carries, which is just crazy when you have that much volume and average 7.7 yards per carry. They have little interest in passing the ball, but Donovan Trumbull's route to victory, I think, is stopping him, which is not easy at all. So I think Wood River has definitely a big advantage in this one, but Donovan did have some success rushing the ball with uh, that last game going. Tyson Bennett, I think that he definitely deserves some more volume. He averaged 10 yards a carry last game, so I think this game could be very interesting. And yeah, so what do you got for this one?
Um, Personally, I think Wood River pulls away late in this game. I like the 7.7 yards a carry from Mr. Rorich. And I think that he's just unstoppable with getting 32 carries last game. I think it'll kind of end up the same way here.
Yeah, if it's broke, don't fix it. And
I
our
agree.
next, yeah, and our next game, number 6 Malcolm 7-2 versus number 11 Mitchell 5-4. Malcolm is a team that I view as a high floor, low ceiling team. They're going to beat the middle of the pack teams, but they kind of struggle against the higher teams. But their only losses is to the top teams, so that's good for them. With that being said, though, I think Malcolm is gonna probably run away with this game. Mitchell has struggled against some of the top teams as well. So I got Malcolm in this one. What are you thinking?
Um, I completely agree with you here. I think Malcolm is a way better team than Mitchell. Just looking at Mitchell's kind of roster and record, I'm not too favored on them winning. I think Malcolm pulls away pretty heavily on this.
Yeah, and that's a good pick there. I agree with you. All right, and now we get into these games are my most interesting games, I think. We're gonna go over to number 7 Cedar Catholic 7-2 versus number 10 Oakland Craig at 6-3. I'm gonna let you start on this one.
All right, this game is probably one of the most interesting games of the playoffs, let's be honest. Arlington
Of
Cedar
course.
Catholic and Oakland Craig, two of the top teams in C2. I mean, Oakland Craig coming in with Braylon Anderson at quarterback, one of the top quarterbacks in C2. Arlington Cedar Catholic with, I think, is Riefenrath is how you pronounce his name?
Braden Riffenrath.
Yes, he is an absolute stud.
Yep.
And I think this game is really interesting. I think Oakland Craig has a chip on their shoulder coming into this game, losing last time. I'm really interested in this game for score wise.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, I think I'm going to take Oakland Craig to win this game.
Yeah, and that's perfectly reasonable because it's really hard to beat a team twice in high school football or really any level of football. But I I view it a little bit differently, but I definitely can see either team winning. They have a dangerous offense, as you said. Braylon Anderson, one of the best football players in Class C1 or C2. He's got his target Corbin Gold. They have three or four guys in that top 20 range for receiving yards in this class, which is just crazy. They also have a good runner in Jackson Jorgensen. But four-seater Catholic in that last game, Oakland Craig kind of did a good job of containing Jamison Katu. I think he definitely needs some more volume in that first matchup. And I think that Brighton Whitmire, he did have some success last game. He had 160 yards and four touchdowns against them last time. So I think they should continue that rushing effort. And I think if you add a little more Jameson in there, it's going to add a lot more dangerous. And I think I trust them to do so. So I got Cedar Catholic in this one.
All right.
And then this game is also pretty interesting, which most 8 and 9 seeds are. Boone Central 6-3. That's actually where I'm from, so maybe I have a little bit of bias in here. I went there last year, but Raymond Central 7-2. I think this is another interesting game. I'll let you start on this one again.
So this game is also very interesting. Boone Central playing the top seeds, having a little struggle. I can see I can see why though, because the top teams are who they are and they know that they are the top dogs in this class. But I would not count them out. Boone Central has a good Brogan Benish. He is a I believe he is a really good player, and I
Of
believe
course.
that he could carry this team to victory for sure against Raymond Central. I don't know much on Raymond Central, considering they're from further away than usual. I know they got that 7-2 record, which is a fairly decent record in Class C2 football, but I think Boone Central wins this game.
Yeah, I also agree with you. Brogan Benish, I got the pleasure of playing with him and Thomas Roberts last year. Those guys are great players. Brogan Benish averages 166 yards per game, and I like their quarterback as well. He's a good dual threat option. He can run that option pretty well. They like to run there in Boone Central. And Thomas Roberts is just a game wrecker on defense. He's really wrecking havoc in most games he's played. He was a little bit injured towards the beginning of the season, but he came back and he has 11 sacks on the year. So you can't go into this game if you're a Raymond Central person and discredit Thomas Roberts. You have to account for him. But on Raymond Central side, they have Tavion Johnson, who is one of the leading receivers in Class C2. So he is definitely a problem. They are a split offense. Uh, they run the ball and they pass the ball, so I like their offense a bit, and I definitely don't think that they can't win this game, but I am going to take Boone Central in this one. So that will conclude the playoff preview and predictions, but we got this next segment here, the fantasy football draft. So how this is going to work, we're going to alternate picks, and we're going to pick a quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, and a tight end out of the Class C2 roster that is active right now in this first round. And as I usually do, I give the guest first pick, and I'm going to give you first pick. Who do you got here?
At quarterback from the C2, I mean, I would love to take Mr. Braylon Anderson.
Yeah, Braylon Anderson was he was number one on my big board for quarterback. So that kind of puts a dent in things a little bit. So you kind of took my guy. But for
Well,
my first
I mean,
pick, you can go ahead.
who else is there to pick, man? I mean, you
Yeah,
got
of
Braylon
course.
Anderson, but
Yeah, so for my first pick, I'm actually going to go with running back Connor Booth from Wahoo Newman. This guy is crazy. He gets all the volume, he gets all the touchdowns, he gets all the yards. So I'm going to rely on him to carry my team. And then you have another pick right after me.
so. I think what I'm gonna do here, it's very possible that you could put this guy in so many different positions because he is so versatile, like you said. But I think I'm gonna take Max Hammond and put him. It's hard to say where to put him, because he's so versatile. Um, we'll take Max Hammond and we'll put him at wide receiver number two.
Got it. That's a good pick as well. I think he can definitely get you those points receiving as well because he did you see that catch that he had that last week or 2 weeks ago?
I was fortunately there. I was unfortunately there.
That was a crazy catch. So for my next pick, I'm gonna take Bo Rorich from Wood River. I think this guy also similarly to Connor Booth, they get a lot of volume and a lot of carries, a lot of yards.
Okay, okay. I like that pick. I like that pick.
And you are next again.
Um, I think I'm gonna take let me I think I'm gonna take honestly Mr. Riefenrath from Hardington Cedar Catholic. I think he's an absolute stud. I think his volume levels are insane considering how many carries and yards he gets for whoever they play.
Yeah, that's another good pick. You gonna stick him at running back?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm gonna stick him at running back.
That's a different approach, but I get it. I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna take Corbin Gill from Oakland Craig just because he's just far and away the number one receiver, I think.
I respect that. I respect that.
And now you have another pick.
So let's see. What do I got left? Running back two, receiver, and flex.
Yep.
Okay. Running back two. Running back two. Let's see here. I guess we could go all Catholic on it. Um, you know what? I'm gonna stay loyal to the Battle Creek fan base, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick Aiden Poka as my running back number two.
Yeah, he was definitely someone I was targeting as well, so kind of a little bit angry there, but it's all right. Um, I'm gonna take here Brogan Benish for my flex spot.
Ooh, I like that pick. I like that pick a lot, actually.
So now I believe you have two more slots left, but you're gonna fill up one more here with this pick.
All right. I got flex and I got wide receiver number one. Who can we throw at wide receiver number one? Honestly, you were talking about him earlier, and I think I'm gonna stick with the Hardington boys, and I'm gonna take Jamison Cotto.
Yeah, that's another good pick. I believe he was third on my big board that I have here, but yeah, that's a good pick. I think that they should incorporate him more into that offense, and I think that they will. So
Yeah.
for another pick for me, I have quarterback open, so I'm going to take Wyatt Jelinek from Raymond Central. He definitely gets on the ground a little bit more, so I like the points there.
Okay. Okay.
And now,
So I got my last slot.
yep. Wait, no,
My
you have
flex.
two. You have a tight
I
end
had
and a
two.
flex left. Tight end and a flex
Oh,
left.
a tight end. See, now here I would be that guy to go to Battle Creek and pick a tight end.
He's on my
Unfortunately,
big board.
Battle Creek does not pass the ball enough. But okay, I do have a question for you.
What's up?
Are are we counting Wyatt Narodzik as a tight end?
Um, you can put him there. That's all right.
Well, I think I'm gonna go on the other side though. I think I'm gonna pick Connor Newhoffen and I'm gonna stick him at tight end.
Good pick. He was my second ranked tight end in this week. So I have two more picks here. I have a wide receiver and a tight end left. And I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pick Tavion Johnson from Raymond Central to fill out all of my receivers.
Okay, so your receiving core is looking nice.
Oh yeah. And then this is your final pick of the draft, and who are you going with? You have a flex left, so you can really just go in any direction you want.
The flex spot. So I've been thinking about there's a couple options here for me personally. I have um so there's a Battle Creek boy by the name of Casey Schnabel who would be a decent flex in my opinion. Also, there is another kid from Norfolk Catholic by the name of Hayden Kelly
Those
who is
good
kind of hard
options.
to pass up in this situation, considering how well he played against us. I mean, I think he can keep that train rolling. So I think I'm going to go with Hayden Kelly at my flex spot from Norfolk Catholic.
That's a good pick, and I think my last pick, I have my tight end left, so I'm gonna go with Jared Kernick from Wahoo Newman. He is the leading tight end in receiving yards in Class C2. So that's going to wrap up our fantasy football segment as well. So thank you for Braylon and for tuning in and helping us out on this preview. I'm looking forward to keeping track of these fantasy points, and I'll get back to you. And we have this friendly little competition, and we're gonna see who comes out on top. But yeah, we're just gonna ask you, where can we find you on your social medias?
Shoot. I mean, Instagram, you got Braylon underscore 425. Uh, Shoot, man, I don't even know my freaking social media tags. This is bad.
Instagram works. That's what I'm based on, so it's all good.
That's what I say. Instagram. Go follow the Instagram.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you next week for the second round.
Hey, appreciate it, Danny.
Yeah, see ya.